What's up, collectors? Welcome back to Films by Color and to another episode of This Week in Physical Media, where we talk about every new Blu-ray and 4K release that's coming out this week, as well as a bonus this week. We're also going to be talking about the upcoming Criterion October titles that Criterion just announced today, and I'm very excited about several of these titles. I actually have already shot a video talking about these with a friend of mine, but I thought I'd go ahead and bring it up on the show tonight. It's a little bit of a light week as far as new releases go, so we're going to throw this in. I'd love to hear your thoughts on which ones you're most excited about and which one of these you've already seen. And we'll just talk about everything else as well. There's a bunch of new releases coming out this week, some big ones that we have to cover. So I can't wait to jump into it. We shoot this show live every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If this is your first time joining us after the fact, we'd love to have you come out and join us live. I already see some new faces in the live chat. So let's go over and see who's here this evening. We've got internet user, as always, popping in. Film Watcher 96. Hey, welcome to the stream. Henry Bidenkamp is here. As always, welcome to the stream, buddy. Kevin House also. Mackenzie Wilkes, is that how you say it? Mackenzie Wilkes. She just joined the channel, just subscribed a couple days ago. And I've been enjoying your comments, so thanks for joining the stream. Glad you made it to this one. We've got Michael Smith is present. Michael Smith, Jeffrey Patrone is here, Posty's here. All the regulars here, as well as some new faces, like I said. Looking forward to talking to you guys about movies tonight. Always have a great time with these streams. Holy crap! Gus is coming in hot here with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Gus. He says, DJ, get a Criterion on me. That is so thoughtful of you, man. Thank you so much. I will absolutely do so. I actually just did. I actually shot another Criterion Haul video with my friend John over the weekend, and I'm frantically editing that right now, trying to get that up for you guys in a couple days. And I did buy a Criterion on someone who left me a super chat a couple weeks back, and he suggested a specific Criterion for me to buy, and I had no problem doing it because I love the movie, so I grabbed that one, and I can't wait for you guys to see that video coming soon. Thank you so much, Gus. I will be picking up one on you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I'm going to try to get to as many comments in the chat as I can, but sometimes it flies by quick, and it is very hard to keep up. So if you do want to leave a super chat donation, YouTube puts it in a big, giant orange or green box so I can make sure that this chat slows down and I can see it. But like I said, I'm going to try to get to as many as I can, and just comments and questions are always appreciated as well. Let's go ahead and jump into let's do the announcements first. That's fun. That's Criterion related. It's July. It's Criterion month. Let's do those first, and then we'll jump into the new releases because, like I said, not too many to get to this week, but some big ones, so I don't want to leave it out, but we'll do both. We can do both, but let's have a good night talking movies tonight. Who else is here? John McDowell is here. Says, love your Criterion videos. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Those are the most fun videos I get to make all year. I wish I could do it more, but at least in July and November, I really enjoy making those. And Benny Ford is here. Yes, John is very knowledgeable. I always enjoy talking to him. He came over this afternoon, and we played our little game where he tries to guess the announcements, and he did pretty well. I'll let you see the video a little bit later when I get that. I'll probably get that up tomorrow. But let's talk about these announcements anyway. So here we go. October titles announced. I didn't know any of, I know some of these films. I didn't hear any like rumors that these were coming out. So these were all pretty big surprises for me. Only 4 titles this week. This month, because I guess one of them is a double feature, so it kind of balances out. We get 5 movies here. And that one, the double feature, is probably the one I'm most excited about. Maybe Demon Pond. I think Demon Pond might be the one I'm most excited about. So we have a double feature of 40s horror films, which you guys know I'm already excited. That's my favorite kind of era of basically 30s and 40s up through the 60s is kind of my era of horror. These sound awesome. I'm not familiar with the producer, Val Luton, but I did check out. I highly recommend you guys check out the screenshots and the scenes down here at the bottom because they were very atmospheric and they definitely got me intrigued in these movies. The second one especially, well, the first one seems really cool. I Walked with the Zombie. It's got kind of like this mysticism going on. But then the second one seems very noir. It's got like early noir vibes with this shadow work and lights in the darks and the lighting that they're using. The scene from that one is basically just this creepy guy just following this woman down these beautiful street sets, and it looks awesome. Like I said, recommend you check that one out. So I'm very excited about this. I would love to have these around October, spooky season. It's perfect time. Criterion always does kind of theme releases in October. So those look like a ton of fun, and they're getting 4K releases, 4K Blu-ray combo pack. So I'm very much looking forward to those. Not only that, but you get commentary on each film, so some good supplements as well. So that is one I'll definitely be picking up. And then the second one I'm definitely going to be picking up is Demon Pond, which sounds incredible. I want to read this exactly how it says because it sounds awesome. Classic kabuki tale with its own extravagant visual style in this dimension-shattering folk horror fantasia. How amazing does that sound? It gives me vibes of The Ballad of Narayama. Have you guys seen this one? I highly recommend this one if you haven't seen it. This is also told in kind of kabuki style. So it's kind of like this, the whole film takes place in this giant kind of diorama, this huge set that's like, goes all the way to the back. There's like matte paintings on the back and like beautiful, luscious foliage sets all around. I'll try to get a photo here. Yeah, there we go. See that? That's just one little glimpse of it, but it looks awesome, full of color, very vibrant, also very atmospheric. You've got like these completely red lit scenes, and there's some green lighting as well, which I'm sure I can find here if I just flick through. But yeah, I loved this one a couple years ago when I watched it. It's done in this style where every time a scene ends, the lights go off and the camera pans over to another scene, and then that lights come on and that scene starts. So it's very much like mimicking how it will be done on stage, like a theatrical performance, which is very, very cool. This has similar vibes to that, it sounds like. It's also very theatrical, and also a Japanese director who I'm not familiar with, but he does have a couple other films already in the collection. And this scene down here, if you watch this scene, let me flip over so you can see, this scene at the bottom is incredible. And it is also giving me kind of the feels of this yokai monster box set. If you haven't seen this is not Criterion, this is Arrow Video. But these are a lot of fun. These are based on Japanese folklore as well, specifically like these kind of monsters, these yokai monsters from Japanese folklore. And it's also very similar, like especially this little scene here. I don't know if the whole movie is like this scene, but the scene that they show at the bottom has got these guys in masks just moving around in slow motion, all kind of unnaturally, and there's like the smoke machines and everything. Very atmospheric, very similar to these yokai monster movies, which also came out in the 60s, I believe. I'm not sure. Let me double check the date on Demon Pond. 79. So this is a little bit later. So we're getting into the 70s style horror, which is a little bit more creepy. That 70s film style just really, I don't know. I think it lends itself to some kind of more disturbing imagery, and that's when horror really starts to get like super gory and violent. I don't know if this is going to be like that. I don't know this director's style. Maybe not. I'm hoping it just kind of stays more in the fantasy realm because I'd be very interested in that. But it sounds really, really cool. This sounds right up my alley. I've had several people message me today saying you got to check out Demon Pond. It sounds like something you're going to love. So I'm really excited about that. It was reminding me of a couple things that I already have here in the collection that I love. So check out Demon Pond. I think that one's going to be really special. And I want to check out his other films in the collection. If you click his name here, Masahiro Shinoda is he's got two other films, Double Suicide and Pale Flower, already in the collection. I believe they're older titles. I believe they're just DVDs. Oh no, that one has a Blu-ray. Pale Flower is a Blu-ray. So there you go. Couple other recommendations from him. I haven't seen those, but if I really like Demon Pond, I'm probably going to go back and check out those other ones. So 2 for 2. I'm excited to pick up both of those. Now the third one here, let me actually talk to the chat a little bit before I get too far away from this, because we'll see what they're saying about these releases. Brian Hansel, I've been waiting for I Walked with a Zombie to get a proper Blu-ray release for over a decade at this point. It being from Criterion is just icing on the cake. Yeah, that's always good. That's always great when you get a high-quality boutique release of something you've been waiting for a long time. Ethan Edwards is talking about a film we'll talk about in a minute, but he says I Walked with a Zombie is one of the greatest horror films. Whoa, high praise. High praise from Ethan Edwards. I can't wait to check it out. I'm excited. Posty says I love both those movies. This is the most excited I've been for a Criterion since I am Cuba. People call the Seventh Victim horror noir sometimes. It's so gorgeous. Nicholas Musaraka, the GOAT. So yeah, that's exactly what I got. I got noir vibes from that. Very hard, so I'm glad that you can confirm that, having seen the film. Henry Beinkamp says both Luton films are very good, especially loved Seventh Victim. And Brian Hadsel also says, I Walked with a Zombie is basically Jane Eyre in the Caribbean with old school voodoo-inspired zombies. It's my favorite of the Wall Luton RKO horror cycle. You guys are just getting me pumped for these. That is my kind of zombie, by the way, the voodoo zombie. Much cooler than the infection, like virus zombie. I don't get excited about that. I love the mysticism much more. Internet user, the Janus Films YouTube channel just put out oh, I saw this. Don't worry, a video will be coming soon on this. I just saw this today, but thanks for bringing it up. Time Masters just got a 4K restoration. I don't know if it's 4K, but they just got a restoration from Janus, and I'm so excited because I just watched that movie and the rest of that director's films just a couple weeks ago. So I've been on a Rene Laloux kick, so it's crazy that restoration happened. I'm going to definitely be posting a video about that this week, internet user, but thanks for bringing that to my attention. Film Watcher, OMG, I own that Narayama on Criterion. It's a good movie. It's a great movie. Wonderful movie, based on Japanese folklore, and you can tell the director really had a chip on his shoulder about how the youth were treating the elderly during that time in the 50s, late 50s, very early. It's a very early color film, but it is gorgeous, and highly recommend that one. That was a surprising one. What else do we have here? Man, the chat is flying. I'm already getting lost. Tired Boy, DJ, my man, haven't been able to catch a live stream in a little while, but I'm glad I can make it tonight. I've recommended it before, but you gotta pick up copy of To Sleep with Anger on Criterion. I read that comment that you left, and I have been looking for it at every store, and it hasn't been there. So I may have to do a little ordering from one of my stores. I have to do that anyway because there's a ton of stuff I want that's never in stores. So I will be ordering stuff, and hopefully I can add To Sleep with Anger to my list. I don't know. I've already picked up a bunch of stuff. I'm running out of money in the wallet, so we'll see. We will see. Baloney is here. I just got Criterion's The Underground Railroad. 15 minutes shy of 10 hours long. Really looking forward to watching it. Holy smokes. That's a lot of bang for your buck, if that's around the normal price. That is... No, I saw that. Yeah, I've seen that. It's got like a thicker case. That one just came out. I didn't realize it was like a series, but that's really cool. Bailey says, the announcements have me very curious about future titles because Happiness last month and Gumo this month both had little availability before. I'm pretty sure only OOP DVDs from forever ago. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been really, really good announcements lately. Speaking of, let's get back to some other ones here. The next one is Pandora's Box, which I am not interested in, not because it's not a fantastic movie, but because I just picked up this beautiful hard slipbox Eureka version, which I absolutely love. I've done a video on this, I think. Got this earlier this year when it came out. Actually, Eureka reposted my video on this, which blew me away. I was like, what are you looking at my tiny little channel for? So that was kind of cool. But yeah, loved this movie. Just watched it. I really wanted to check this out kind of for a dumb reason, just because I hadn't seen any 1929 movies, and I was trying to, fill out the years that I hadn't seen. And then just not only is it a good 1929 movie, it's an incredible 1929 movie. Maybe probably my favorite. I've seen a couple others since then, and this one is still absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen this, can't recommend it enough. It is G.W. Pabst, who is a German director who is working around the same time as like Fritz Lang and those awesome guys. I'm happy Criterion's doing this because that's a lot. That whole era of film is like, I wish Criterion would put out more stuff from that period. I love this kind of stuff, this German expressionist stuff. I also have the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari box set from Eureka back there, which is a 4K set. This one, not 4K. The Criterion is also not 4K. It's just a Blu-ray. It's just a 2K restoration, which is kind of unfortunate, but I'm okay with it because I don't feel pressured to buy the Criterion because I already have the Blu-ray here. This is a wonderful release. It also comes with a super thick booklet here, all about the film. So I love this release. I loved the movie. I can't remember what's her name? Louise Brooks, the star of this movie. She steals the show. She's got an incredibly magnetic performance. Every scene she's in, like I said, she steals the show, and she is just awesome. She's so good in this, and this movie is like, it says right here in the description, like surprisingly modern, like shockingly modern. The way they handle like the relationships and the like the sexual relationships and how it does not feel like it was made all the way back in 1929. It feels, I don't know, it feels like a pre-code film. I feel like it goes even further than pre-code films sometimes. And it's a silent film, and it's great. And if you don't like silent films, I would still recommend it. I feel like you would just completely get wrapped up in it and forget that you're watching a silent film, because the emotion, it's one of those very emotional silent films. It's not like slapstick. It's not a comedy, although there's some funny bits in it, but it's very, I would say it's very, I don't want to, it's bleak, but it's also very human. I don't know. I highly recommend Pandora's Box if you haven't seen it. If you missed out on the Eureka limited edition, definitely check out the Pandora's Box from Criterion. And it's a lovely digipack packaging, which I love. Looks very nice. Love the look of this thing. It is just a Blu-ray, but it does have several special features here down at the bottom, including an audio commentary, which is awesome. And I don't know if I have that on my release. It's probably a different commentary than the one I have. So highly, highly recommend that. 3 for 3. They're killing it this month. This is a great release month, especially for October. And I think that kind of fits in the October theme. It's not a horror film, but it does get to some horrific places. So definitely check that one out. I've said it enough. You guys get it. I like that movie a lot. What else is happening here in the chat? Henry Bidenkamp, DJ, have you seen your version of Pandora's Box? I have. I just watched it earlier this year. Apparently there were some issues on their release. How bad are they? Criterion corrected these mishaps. If there are some issues on my release, I did not notice. Well, I don't know what you mean by issues. Do you mean like sound issues or supplement issues or visual issues? I don't know. It is a very old film, and it does have some like damaged scenes. It's from 1929. So if those were more extreme than they should have been, I wouldn't know, because it was the first time I saw it. But yeah, I don't know. I had no issues with it. I loved it. It looked great to me. So I don't know if there are issues on there or not. Becky Hadsell, that copy of Pandora's Box is amazing looking. It is. I'm happy with it. I love Criterion, but I'm not one of those collectors that needs the Criterion version of everything. If there's a nicer release from another studio, I'm totally fine just grabbing that one instead. I did the same thing with my 3 Colors trilogy back there. I'm not a completionist for Criterion. What else are people saying? David Lindsay, The Seventh Victim, was remade as Bless the Child, only no more as gritty and scary. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I love the 40s and 30s, especially 30s with the pre-code stuff. That's what I really love. I think those are outside of pre-code at that point. Yeah, they're late. They're later in the 40s, but they still look plenty creepy. So I'm looking forward to checking those out. Kevin House says, I can never remember how to say this. Kameradschaft and Westfront 1918, also 2 great Pabst films available on Criterion. Yes, you are absolutely right about that. I saw that as well in the collection. We can pull over that real quick. We got plenty of time tonight. So Pabst is in the collection several times with this one right here, Kameradschaft, and the 3 Penny Opera, which only has the DVD, but it's got some incredible artwork there on the front. Haven't seen that. And then this other one here has a Blu-ray and a DVD option. This is why I got to just start going through the Criterion site. I can't just rely on Barnes & Noble anymore, because Barnes & Noble doesn't have they have a fraction of what's actually in the collection. There's so much stuff still in print that I need to check out. Ethan Edwards says there's an early German talkie called Mädchen in Uniform you should check out. Kino put out a Blu-ray. I'll look into that. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you as always for the recommendations. And Henry Bidenkamp says Seventh Victim looks like inspiration for Rosemary's Baby. Interesting. All right, well, let's look at the last one here. This one's a little outside the box of the theme for this month. This one seems like the most different. We've got some very old films well, I guess not. We got everything here. We've got a 20s film, 40s films, and a 70s film, and then we're jumping up to the 90s. So a very eclectic mix of films. This is Gumo. Several people in the chat have already released it this month. This is a love it or hate it movie, as internet user says right here in the chat. I don't know the description and the scene here, and I actually looked up the trailer as well on YouTube. It's got me intrigued, but I don't know. I feel like this is one of those directors who's just not going to be my cup of tea. It could go either way, but I feel like he might be one of those directors I just can't get into. One of those directors I can kind of appreciate, but maybe not love. So I don't know about this one. I'm on the fence, unless I hear like just incredible things from my audience. I know there's already a couple of guys in the audience very excited about this one. But yeah, this is a director, Harmony Korine, who I'm not super familiar with. The only thing I know about him is I think it's him. I guess I shouldn't make assumptions. Does it say his anywhere? Anyway, the only thing I know about the director's kind of work is that they wrote Kids or co-wrote Kids, which is another very controversial film. Also about kids. Seems very similar to Gumo, which Kids just got an incredible boutique release from Umbrella. Was it Umbrella or was it Imprint? It may have been Imprint. I think it was Imprint. But yeah, that's an incredible release. But again, another film I don't know if I can, if I'll ever get into. But this one seems like very distinct. Like I said, controversial, provocative film that if it hits you right, I think it really, really works. And if it doesn't, it really, really doesn't work. So a love it or hate it film. You guys will have to let me know your thoughts on that one. Some people are already talking about it in the chat here. Let me talk about it here. Internet user says Gumo is one of those films that people either love or hate. Josh Knoll says, I'm looking forward to the upcoming Greg Araki 3-film collection coming from Criterion on September. Yep, we talked about that last month. I actually especially one of them, one of the trilogy, I'm very much looking forward to. I've already seen it. They have them all on the Criterion channel, so if you have that streaming service, you can check those out before the release comes out. Griff says, have not seen Gumo. The trailer kind of repulses me, while at the same time has me needing to see more. Exactly. See that? Thank you for explaining that so much better than I did. It is intriguing and disturbing all at the same time. Dan Zen just got here. Howdy. Forgot about the stream tonight. LOL. No worries. No worries. We're just talking about Criterion upcoming releases. And Dan Zen says, I'm not a huge Harmony Korine fan. Yeah, we've been talking about that. It goes either way. Tired Boy, I'm in the same boat with ordering online. The selection at my Barnes & Noble is dwindling. If I see a copy of TSWA at my store, though, I'll see if I can pick it up and send it your way. Hey, that would be amazing, man. I don't have a P.O. box right now. I actually had someone reach out to me on Instagram the other day that said, I want to send you some stuff. What's your P.O. box? And I was like, I don't have a P.O. box. Sorry. But another quick way that you guys can send me stuff, that's actually the easiest way where you don't have to do any shipping at all, is if you go to my Amazon wish list, which is in the description of all my videos, and you can just click it there and send it to me. I know we don't want to support Amazon. We'd rather support Barnes & Noble or Criterion. But that is just an easy way. If there's ever something you want me to make a video on or send my way, you can just jump on there and send it to me. And I really, really appreciate it. But no worries either way. Posty, I haven't seen Gumo, and I'm cool with that. Exactly. I think it's, yeah, like I said, it's a love it or hate it thing. Brian Hadsel said, the best description that I ever heard for Harmony Korine's Spring Breakers is that if it's a movie that sounds like you'll hate it, you'll probably be the perfect audience for it. And he says, and incidentally, I love it. Personally, I'm looking forward to getting Gumo. I really liked it when I saw it a while back, says internet user. Ethan Edwards doesn't think I will like Gumo, but he's 99% sure. So there's a little hope. Yeah, every once in a while there's a movie that like nobody in the comments thinks I'll like and then I love for some reason, and I can't explain it. It just hits me in the right place. Sometimes thematic things can like overcome taste issues for me. Actually, a lot of times that happens. Kevin House, I ordered Mona Lisa at my Barnes & Noble today for delivery at the store. Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that too. Get some things sent to the store. All right, let's go ahead and switch gears over to new releases here. We're going to go to blu-ray.com, see what else is coming out. Thanks for the Criterion discussion there, guys. Really enjoyed that. Thanks for your input and feedback. Like I said, I'm looking forward to several of those films. Looking forward to October. But we've got some cool stuff coming out this week as well. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So first thing on the list is a 4K copy of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This is a great film. I watched this on Criterion Channel several years ago now. When I first got it, it was one of the first things I watched on there, I think. Love this kind of stuff. Love this B movie kind of, what would you call, what do you call that kind of horror that's like atomic age, like 50s Cold War style horror? I don't know if this exactly fits into that category, but it feels like those kind of horror films. Here it is. I'll show you the front here. Look at this. This is, I don't want to give it away, but it is an alien invasion. It says right in the title, Invasion right there. If you haven't heard of this, I know a lot of people are probably familiar with the remake from the 80s. This is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It is an alien invasion movie, but it is a very interesting type of aliens. And I don't know if the remake actually, I haven't seen the remake. I don't know if the remake goes along with the same premise here. But this one's great. I love, it's kind of like the aliens, I'll just tell you this, the aliens turn into other people. So you got this kind of uneasy feeling the entire movie. You don't know who is really the people you're looking for and who are actually aliens in disguise. Very tense for this kind of, it's a little cheesy for this time period, but I think the music and the acting especially is very tense and builds a lot of suspense, and I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun. This would be a great one to watch in October as well if you're looking for some kind of spooky but still fun, like Halloween party type movies. This is a great one. It's getting a 4K release. I feel like we already had a 4K release of this. Is this just a re-release? This may be just a re-release. If not, if this is the first time, I definitely have to get my hands on it because I don't own it yet, and I'm glad that Criterion is putting out this lovely release with a nice slipcover and a 4K restoration, plus a Blu-ray. It's a combo pack. So there you go. Can't beat it. Great Criterion. Kino Lorber has great prices. It's available on Amazon right now for $27. You can't beat that. Excellent movie. And of course, there's a Blu-ray version as well if you're not upgraded to 4K yet. So there you go. That is a wonderful release. I recommend that one as well. We're getting into spooky season already. It feels weird. It's only July, but we're already talking about Halloween stuff. Then we've got Rocky, the Ultimate Knockout Collection. Make sure you pay close attention to the title of this collection because there's been about 13 Rocky collections released. They did the Blu-ray one, and then they did like the half 4K one, which was like the first 4 films. And now finally we get the Ultimate Knockout Collection, 6-film collection, 4K, Ultra HD, and Blu-ray. I'm sure there'll be one coming later down the line that has all the Creed films included as well. But this one includes Rocky, Rocky 2. I hate the way they put all the titles on the front like this. This looks terrible. Rocky, Rocky 2, and I can feel the designer who had to make this cover just cringing as he has to shove all that. This is my life as a designer. You get like this beautiful design, and then you get all this copy that you have to shove in there, and it looks terrible. Rocky, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4 includes theatrical version and the Rocky vs. Drago: the Ultimate Director's Cut, and the making of Rocky vs. Drago. Keep punching. That is horrible. That's a mouthful. Why is that on the front? Put that on the back in the special features. That looks terrible. Then we've got Rocky 5, and then we've got Rocky Balboa with the new director's cut that I believe Stallone just did. Other than that jumbled mess of text down there at the bottom, it looks pretty good. This is a standard cover. It's kind of like Photoshoppy. It doesn't... I would have, appreciated a little more classic looking cover, but that's fine. It's just a box set. You know what you're getting. So 6 movies, 8 cuts. And there you go. You got all the Rocky films. I will probably have to be picking this one up because I don't own the Rocky films. I love them. I'm a little bit of a weirdo. I think the first obviously the first one's everyone's favorite, but I actually really like Rocky 2. I think that's my second favorite. And I know a lot of people go to 3 and 4 for kind of a different flavor. I appreciate Rocky 2. I like it quite a bit. And I really liked Rocky Balboa. 3 and 4 get a little too silly for me. I don't know. I've only seen them once. Me and Grace actually watched through all of them right before we saw the first Creed film came out. So I'm sure if I went back and watched them again, I'd have different experiences like I always do. But watching them through the first time, Rocky 1 and 2 were my 2 favorites. I don't want to pay $120 for this. I'm going to have to wait for it to come down a little bit. I think that price is a little crazy. But they're excellent films, and I'm sure the 4K restorations look pretty good as well. So that's cool that we're getting those. And then we'll also talk about some steelbooks for the Rocky films that they've been doing over the last year. And we'll finish those up in here in just a bit. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. I'm sure people have a lot to say about Rocky and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Thank you guys so much for the conversation tonight and all of the chats here. Dan Sten says the ending of Invasion of the Body Snatchers is one of the most blatant anti-Red Scare tagged on things I've ever seen. Great movie otherwise. Yeah, I just love like I said, the atmosphere of that movie. I love, I have a really hard time explaining what kind of horror I like, but that's what it is. Whether it's like mysticism or, like I said, the atomic age, like B-movie sci-fi horror, like just that feel of it. It's really hard to... I like that feel. I like the kind of fantasy, like over the top. I can't get excited about like the serial killer kind of horror. That's just as boring to me. But if you got like some weird escapist stuff, that's what really gets me excited. Dan's Den, the pods in the remake are established to be aliens. Okay. Well, I figured it was aliens, but there's a specific way that they take form in the original that I didn't know if they carried over to the remake or not. Josh, no, watch the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It is so good. The ending is classic. Yeah, I need to catch up on that remake. That's a remake I haven't seen. Kevin House, DJ, both the original and remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers are both excellent. Roland666 pops in. Hey, says, sup, FB C, welcome to the chat. Welcome. So many comments. Baloney, did you think boutique labels share their... do you think they share their restored films with each other and they each try to improve them further? I don't know exactly how that works, but yeah, I probably should have called that this was coming to Criterion because especially... it depends on what boutique labels you're talking about. Sometimes the rights matter, and sometimes they make deals and they don't seem to matter. Like, especially if you're talking UK releases, like there's a lot of crossover between Eureka and Criterion or Radiance and Criterion. For instance, one of the movies we're going to talk about that's coming out today, Black God, White Devil, I first found out about through Radiance's website. I made a order through Radiance recently, and I saw Black God, White Devil on there, and it looked really interesting, and I was about to add it to my cart, and then I found that it was coming to Criterion, so I just held off. But yeah, there's a lot of crossover between those two. The rights are usually split between UK and America. A lot of times Arrow UK will get things that American Arrow won't, and then vice versa. So it's a confusing headache for all of us, and there's been several movies that I've bought, and then the American version I bought from overseas, and the American version comes out right afterwards. So it's really, really hard to keep up. Even me doing this show, I mean, this is helpful. This is why I do this show, is to stay up to date on all the releases coming out. But sometimes it's still hard to keep track of everything because there's so many different labels and the rights. Like sometimes the rights will go to both. Like you'll get American Arrow Video will put out something, and then Criterion also already has it in the collection, and they just split the rights. So I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to it. It's a jumbled mess. Invasion of the Body Snatchers had an Olive Films release, but it's out of print. I remember that. I wanted to pick it up after I watched it. It was a little bit pricey for me because Olive Films, like I said, all of those I think are out of print. They're kind of in the same realm as like Twilight Time, where they're really hard to get. They didn't print very many copies of it, so I never grabbed it, and now it worked out because I can get the 4K version. Gus Emeretti, they've knocked out my wallet with all these Rocky collections. Seriously, I feel like there's a new one pretty much every year at this point. Internet user says, sounds like you have a rocky relationship with the box set. See what you did there. Gus, don't tell me about any more sales. He says tomorrow Prime Day starts. There's so many sales going on right now. I have had to just put blinders on and limit myself just to Criterion because that's the big, thing that we like to do here on this channel this month. And I don't want to take money away from that to go into all these other sales. There's so many sales going on. I feel like Vinegar Syndrome just had a sale and so many other boutique labels. And now Amazon's going to get in on it. So zip your lid, Gus. I don't want to hear about no more sales. Ethan Edwards, the only one I haven't seen is Rocky 5, but I hear it's awful. I also skipped Rocky 5. When we watched through everything, we went straight from 4 to Rocky Balboa, and then we went and saw Creed. So I guess I'm not a true fan. I should maybe give 5 a visit. Jeffrey Patron, good news, DJ. Just ordered an item from your wish list. And he told me what it is. Thank you so much. 3 Godfathers is one that I've been very much looking forward to. I have seen the Studio Ghibli kind of like pseudo remake of it, which is right over here. Tokyo Godfathers, which is a Christmas movie, a wonderful Christmas movie, directed by Satoshi Kon. And 3 Godfathers is completely different. It is a Western film where there's 3 like cowboys like find a baby, super tough guys. They find this baby and they have to try to get it back to its mother. And this is the same story but told at Christmas time in Tokyo with 3 homeless people. So I love this. And when I found out it was based on the same source material as the classic 3 Godfathers, which I saw briefly on TCM one time, I had to get it. And I added it to my wish list. I just haven't got a chance to get around to it yet. But Jeffrey Patron, my man, appears to have just sent it to me. So thank you so much, Jeffrey. Really, really appreciate all your donations. I love every time you get me something. It's something that I'm very curious about, but it's hard to prioritize because nobody else cares. So I love that you are allowing me to kind of pursue my classic earlier film taste. Jeffrey and I have very similar tastes. He's also big on classic things that gets played, the stuff that gets played on Turner Classic Movies at like 11 o'clock at night. So thank you so much, Jeffrey. Really, really appreciate that. That's super fun. Dan's Den, why are we talking about The Burbs? Is The Burbs coming out? The Burbs has come up, and I'm not sure where that started in the chat. But Tire Boy says 3 Godfathers is amazing, and his films are great in general. Wish he was able to make Dreaming Machine before he died. Oh, I didn't know about that. I didn't know he was working on something when he died. That is unfortunate. I need to get more into his stuff. I can't remember. Is he the same director who did... I can't remember now. I think Perfect Blue and Paprika? I haven't seen Perfect Blue. I've seen Paprika. That may be a different director. I may be getting my wires crossed on that one. I wasn't prepared to talk about that director tonight. So let's get back to the new releases. We've got Brokeback Mountain, another classic film that I've never seen. Another 4K Blu-ray combo pack from Kino Lorber with a lovely little slipcover. There you go. Ang Lee film. I'm sorely behind on my Ang Lee films. He was huge. What happened to him? Has he done anything in a while? I feel like I heard his name recently, but he was huge in the early 2000s and late 90s, I guess. So everybody knows what Brokeback Mountain is. It's kind of been the butt of a bazillion jokes since 2005, but I've never seen it, and I should probably correct that soon. But it's getting a lovely 4K release from Kino Lorber. Kino Lorber always putting out everything, and they just I would love to see the Kino Lorber salesman at work trying to get the rights, like we were talking about earlier, because they apparently can get anything. I don't know who they have hostage or what dirty laundry they have of people, but it seems like they can get their hands on anything. And then going about as completely the opposite direction as we can from Brokeback Mountain, we've got the SpongeBob SquarePants movie also getting a 4K release. I feel like everything we talk about is 4K these days. We finally see the industry like completely shifting over. Criterion's doing it. Almost all their releases are 4K at this point. And we've got SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Now, SpongeBob was... I kind of completely miss SpongeBob. I have friends that are around my age. Connor, big fan, or big friend of mine who's been on the channel a lot. He's a huge SpongeBob fan. Like, he grew up, this was kind of when he was a kid. I think this started in 99. I was already, 7, 8? I guess I should have been the target audience. I just missed it. I completely missed it. I have seen this movie, though. I remember when I went over to stay at someone's house one time. I don't remember who it was. Was it Tyler and Taylor, the twins? I can't remember who it was, but I watched the SpongeBob SquarePants movie at someone's house, and it was like the weirdest thing ever because I hadn't seen the show. But I know a lot of people consider it like very classic American comedy at this point, especially very nostalgic show. Very cool that it's getting this kind of steelbook packaging. That looks cool. I mean, I like that. I like especially doing those for kind of animated kids movies. You got to do a very colorful, bright packaging. So that looks good. I know a lot of people are going to be very excited about that. And I hope it's a really good transfer. I have no idea how that's going to look, but I hope it's great. Is there a Blu-ray for that? There's not. So just a 4K for that. And then one more here at the top. We got Perfect Days, which I'm very excited about getting. This is joining the collection, and this might have to go right into my wish list for the sale this month because this is a movie by Wim Wenders. Everybody knows that. 2023 last year. One of the ones I missed. It was only playing at like one theater for like a very, very short amount of time. And I missed it last year. And I didn't get a chance to see it. But I've heard nothing but amazing things about it. And I'm very much looking forward to checking that one out finally. So that one should be in your Barnes & Nobles this week, starting tomorrow. Although my Barnes & Noble only gets like a couple of the new ones. So you better get out there quick Tuesday morning and try to find it because it's crazy. Everything's flying off the shelves. My stores don't even have any Blue Velvets anymore. They already sold out of those. So it's tough. It is a jungle out there. But that's one of the Criterion releases coming out. And then we've also got a second one, Black God, White Devil. I already alluded to it earlier, which sounds very, very cool. I'll go ahead and read the description on this one because I think it's a little more less known. Fictionalized account of the adventures of hired gunman Antonio Das Mort. Can I zoom in on this? Because this is very tiny. Set against the real-life last days of rural banditism, the movie follows Antonio as he witnesses the descent of common rural worker Manuel into a life of crime, joining the gang of Antonio's sworn enemy, Corsico, the Blood Devil, and the Pedro Bonita Massacre. So a very heavy one, but I highly recommend checking out the commercial, the trailer that Radiance put out. Because Radiance can put out a solid trailer, man. They sold me on this with just that trailer. It looks like some incredible visuals, some incredible cinematography. I am not familiar with Roca as a director, but this one looked awesome. And if I like that one, I'll have to check out some other ones. It is, look at that. You know I love that word, surreal, right there. A very surreal drama. In Portuguese, which I haven't seen enough films in that language. So very looking forward to that one. I can't wait. That one might have to be one I pick up this month. If I can fit it in to the schedule. But let me know what you guys think of both of those Criterion releases. We maybe should have tied those Criterion releases to the top when we were talking about the October ones, but that's okay. It was great to have a little break. What else are people saying in the chat? What do you guys think of Black God, White Devil, and Perfect Days? I'm sure several of you have seen Perfect Days because that's a more recent one. Let's see. Jordan E., amazing film, such a simple film about life and a really great soundtrack. Wim Wenders always has great soundtracks, I've heard. I just picked up Until the End of the World. That's what it's called. Until the End of the World. Also supposed to have an amazing soundtrack. Jeffrey says Wim Wenders and Lou Reed musically, that is a perfect combo. Jeffrey also a big music fan, so I'm sure he loves Wim Wenders for that as well. Tired Boy SpongeBob movie is one of the best 2D animated movies ever. Ha. Yeah, that's funny. I didn't even really think about it that way, but I am a big animation fan, and I guess that's kind of a milestone, and kind of calls back to some older animation with interacting with live action, which I remember that they do in that movie. So that's really cool. I guess I should have it just for that, maybe for my kids to watch. I don't know how well it watches without having seen any of the show. I guess I do know how well it watches because that was me. But yeah, I guess I should probably grab that for the kids as well. Paulo loves SpongeBob SquarePants in the chat. Patrick Craig also has a SpongeBob movie pre-ordered. Excited to revisit it. Patrick Craig, another big animation fan in my comments all the time, giving me great recommendations. So good to see you here, Patrick. Welcome to the stream. And Dan Stan already mentioned Perfect Days, but it stuck with me. So very memorable film. Like someone said, very simple film, but it looks like it... I don't know. It looks like it is a very lasting film, and I'm so glad Criterion got it. And there's a couple other new releases from last year that I wish Criterion would get, including Anatomy of a Fall, which they already did get, and I was very excited to grab that one. I just gave away one of my picks. Whoops. Sorry about that. But that was one of the ones that someone in this live stream dropped a super chat for, and they recommended I pick it up. So I went ahead and grabbed it because that was a great recommendation, and I already love that movie. So thanks again, Nacho. I think I'll give you a shout out in the actual video, which should be up in a couple days. But thanks for that super chat. Very much appreciated. Let's go on to Captain Phillips getting a 4K steelbook from Sony Pictures. Sony Pictures putting out a 4K Blu-ray and digital combo pack. There you go. Not the best cover art for a steelbook. It's just kind of Tom Hanks' face and people climbing into a boat behind him. But I've heard about this movie a lot. This is a big famous biopic that a lot of people go to. But yeah, Captain Phillips, one of Tom Hanks' best. Cool that it's getting a 4K release. Another one that I still haven't seen. Probably would be on my list of shame if I had any shame. Phantoms 4K 1998. This is from Shout Factory. Getting a 4K Blu-ray combo pack. Here's the slip on that one. That's cool. It kind of reminds me of the, what is that? 10 Cloverfield Lane. Very similar poster to 10 Cloverfield Lane. For centuries, they told us the terror would come from above. We've been looking the wrong way. So there we go. Is this like an alien movie, but they come from underneath, like Pacific Rim type situation? 1998. Sci-fi horror film. Very cool. I've not even heard of this one. I'm totally out of the loop on this one. Peaceful town of Snowfield, Colorado. Something evil has wiped out the community, and now it's up to a group of people to stop it, or at least get out of Snowfield alive. You never know with Shout Factory. Sometimes they put out some like truly incredible films. Sometimes they put out schlocky stuff. That's the beauty of Shout Factory for most horror fans. So, but for someone who's not the biggest horror fan, I'm a little bit more picky. It's hard to know if I would enjoy it or not. I have to just talk to you guys in the chat and see if you guys recommend it. But that's cool that Shout Factory's putting that out with one of their Shout Select slipcovers. And then, like I said before, we've got these two steelbooks coming out from Rocky. They've been doing this, I think, for about a year now. They've been putting each Rocky film out one at a time with a 4K restoration on a steelbook. And we are all the way up to Rocky 5 and Rocky Balboa. So we've got Rocky 5 here getting a 4K steelbook with Blu-ray and digital. And that's what the back looks like on that one. These are very simple. They just got kind of this black and white with a little pop of red aesthetic. And they just have photos on the inside and the back. I don't know why that photo is so enormous. Sorry, it's zoomed in so much. Rocky 5, everybody's favorite installment in the franchise. And then we've got Rocky Balboa, one of my actual favorite installments. I actually really like this one. There it is. I know a lot of people think it's too repetitive. But it had been a long time, 2006. I actually hadn't been that long. I feel like Rocky 5 just came out in the 90s. But for those of us who didn't watch Rocky 5, it had been a while, and the formula is just something about it. It's just pleasing. It's pleasing to go back to that formula every few every decade, I guess, at this point. But you got both cuts on there as well. The later director's cut that Stallone did. And then also from Kino Lorber, almost said Criterion again. Kino Lorber, Columbo, The Return, getting a complete season 1 Blu-ray release, 1989 to 2003, the crime drama show. I thought this came out a while ago. I guess it's just coming out now. Or maybe it is just a re-release sometime. Like Blu-ray.com doesn't differentiate between re-releases and the first time they're getting released. So, but I swear I saw Serial at Midnight do a review of this like forever ago. So I thought it had already come out earlier this year. But if not, you can get Columbo. And if you missed it and it was a re-release, you can get it now. Also coming out from Kino Lorber is the star of the show tonight besides Criterion. They're putting out so much stuff. They're also up to season 8 of Monk. They've been dropping each season every month this year, and we're all the way up to season 8 already. I actually watched my first episode of this show. This is a show I completely missed, but my wife really liked it, and I think we were out of town at the beach. When we went to the beach a couple weeks ago, we were just like, we didn't have time to watch a whole movie. We were just kind of tired and feeling lazy, and we didn't really want to focus on a movie, so we just popped in Monk, and I watched the first couple episodes of Monk, and it's very charming. It's really fun. I don't know if I could watch 8 seasons of it, but it was cool. And if you love the show and grew up with it, and watched it while it was on, it's very cool that Kino Lorber's putting out Blu-ray releases of it. And we're all the way up to season 8. Then also from Kino Lorber, we've got Paternity getting a Blu-ray release, 1981's Paternity, directed by David Steinberg, starring Burt Reynolds. Look at that guy. Look at that mustache and the chest hair. He's got the mustache. He's got the 1-2 punch of the mustache and the chest hair right there. What is he in? What is he supposed to be in? What is this poster? I don't even know what this poster is. He wants you to have his baby. So we're playing on the Uncle Sam poster, but he's got is that a belt around him? Or is that like a baby's bonnet thing with a pin tied around him? I don't know what that's supposed to be, that little ribbon thing. But yeah, look at that. I mean, that will work very well for a certain demographic. A certain audience will be very excited about that, the whole catchphrase and the poster and everything. Looks great. Rom-com from 1981. A single man searches for a woman who will bear his baby with no strings attached. So super basic premise. And there you go. You're off to the races with a little bit of Burt Reynolds sexy action. I don't know if there's any action. Probably not. Is it R-rated? I don't think it is. I think it's like a PG-13 movie. Anyway, let's see what people are saying before I completely go off the rails. Let me scroll back up here. It's already jumped down quite a bit. Patrick Craig, you should definitely buy season 1 and 2 of SpongeBob on DVD. You can get them as a combo for like $8. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know if that translates to watching for the first time as an adult, or if it. I hear I hear it's kind of like a Simpsons thing where it's good for adults as well. I just completely missed it, so I'll have to go back and maybe check it out. Maybe watch it with the kids. Roland 666 MS45 has been OOP for a while. Vincent put out Miami Connection from the same company. Also, the director just worked with them on a new release of his film Dangerous Game. Just speculation. Interesting. Appreciate all the behind-the-scenes know-how there. Internet user says the star of Perfect Day is also in the film Cure. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I remember when that one came out last year. People were going nuts over Cure. I haven't seen it yet. There's just so much stuff to see. Happy Optimist pops in to the chat. Welcome to the stream. I'm intrigued about Gumo. Me too, man. Me too. I don't know if I'm going to act on my... What's the noun form of intrigued? I don't know that word. But I don't know if I'm going to act on it. We'll see. Ben loves music. DJ, have you seen Robot Dreams? No, I haven't, but I've heard it's incredible. One of the best animated feature nominees from last year. In a stacked year with Across the Spider-Verse and Boy and the Heron. I missed it. That was one that was also only playing one night at one of my theaters, and I completely missed it. So hopefully I can see that one eventually, but very much looking forward to it. I've heard it has no dialogue, which I love. I love all the Wallace and Gromit stuff and Shaun the Sheep and all. I just love silent cinema in any form, even in animation. I think it's a great medium for that. So I can't wait. I hope I can check that out soon. Kevin House. Tom Hanks has a scene at the end of Captain Phillips. Whoa, is this a spoiler? I'm going to read on. Direct all your hate mail to Kevin House if this is a spoiler. Captain Phillips that features an amazing acting performance. Okay, we're good. I don't think that's a spoiler that Tom Hanks features amazing acting performances, because he does that all the time. He's a class act. Kevin House also says the one thing that bothers me about all the Rocky movies is that he never blocks a punch. Well, that's not his style, man. He can't subvert that. That's why you're there. You got to watch him get punched in the face 50 times. Griff, that Columbo set is the newer movie's seasons when it came back, so different from the original box set. Okay, so it is a new release. Very cool. I didn't realize they were doing 2 different box sets. Thank you for that, Griff. Henry Bidenkamp, I think there were some issues with the original Kino set for Columbo, so this is probably the re-release. Oh, I don't know who to believe. I'm getting conflicting stories here. Posty says, I love that Kino Lorber exists. Who else would release Paternity? Yeah, seriously. What did they release a couple weeks ago? That like Johnny Depp rom-com as well? Like they put out anything. They don't have any niche. They just fill all the niches. Roland says Spielberg killed all the special features on the Columbo set. So many commentaries wasted. Oh man, why did he do that? Weird. Why would Spielberg do that? Let's see what else is going on here. CG anime fan. Oh wow, Captain Logan is here. Shout out to Captain Logan from the Geekvolution channel. Love that guy. I am on his channel every Thursday with another live show, so thank you. Oh good, he's giving me tips here. Closest noun form of intrigued is probably curiosity. Yeah, I was trying to think of like some way to say it, but yeah, there's probably not really a good way to say what I was trying to say. But yeah, thank you. I don't know if I'm going to act on my curiosity about Gumo, but we'll see. Maybe I should. If enough people tell me to check it out, I will. But I feel like, I don't know. We'll see. Let's get back. Shall we get back? Yeah, let's get back. Let's get back on track. We're getting completely derailed here with grammar lessons. The Last Stop in Yuma Country getting a Blu-ray release from Well Go USA. This is a tiny little label. I don't even know if it's considered a label. I think it's just kind of a studio, and I have no idea what this movie is, but it just came out last year. Probably a very low-budget film. There you go. The Last Stop in Yuma Country. If anyone knows anything about this, let me know, because this is not on my radar at all. It's a crime thriller. A traveling knife salesman is stranded and forced to wait at a rural rest stop and suddenly finds himself in the middle of a violent hostage situation upon the arrival of 2 bank robbers who are on the run after a recent heist. That sentence just kept going and going and going. But there you go. Last Stop in Yuma Country. If you have been waiting for that, that's getting a Blu-ray release, which is cool. I have no knowledge about that film, but I'm always happy to see lesser known kind of independent films, lower budget stuff getting releases in 2024, because it's not always a guarantee. It's not even a guarantee that the bigger Best Picture noms will get releases in 2024. And I think that might do it for this week. I think we might have done it. There's one more here called Yvonne's Perfume from Kino Lorber from 1994, but this is specifically from Kino Classics. Okay, so this is the subdivision of Kino Lorber called Kino Classics, and they've been putting out some stuff lately. I have no idea what this is, though. Jean-Pierre Mireille, Hippo. Wow, what is this? A film by Patrice Leconte, based on the novel Villa Triste by Patrick Modiano. So there you go. We've done it. We've already made it through. That's why I wanted to throw in the Criterion October titles this week, because it's a very short week. You can see there it is right there. Just a few titles. Couple TV things down here at the bottom. Couple anime titles that I won't butcher because I have no idea what I'm talking about when I bring up that stuff. But a pretty solid release. We've got some big Rocky releases, some big 4K transfers, 4K upgrades of some well-known classics like SpongeBob and Brokeback Mountain. And the one that I'm most excited about, or the 3 that I'm most excited about, are Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which I will 100% be picking up, Perfect Days, which I'll also be picking up, and Black God, White Devil, which I really want to get around to from 1964, but I don't know if it's going to happen this month or not, but we will see. Those are my 3 most anticipated releases from this week. Let me know in the comments and in the live chat which ones you're most excited about checking out. And we'll do a little bit more Q&A tonight. We'll talk for about 15 more minutes. Let me know any questions or comments you guys have in the live chat. And then I'm going to hop off and get back to editing because I've got to edit several videos in the queue. I shot a video today with my good friend John. He came over right after lunch, right after Criterion made the announcement, and we played our Criterion guessing game where I gave him the descriptions and sometimes the year and director, and he tried to guess what the upcoming titles were for October. It was a fun time. We also just talked back and forth a little bit about each title. So if you didn't get enough information at the beginning of the stream from me and you want to know a little bit more about those, you can hear his take in that video, which I'll be editing tonight and getting up early tomorrow. And then, like I said, I also shot a Criterion sale haul video with him over the weekend. That is pretty much done. It's mostly edited. Just have to go through one more pass and do little tweaks, and I'll be getting that one up either tomorrow as well or the next day, maybe wait a little bit. But lots of Criterion videos coming out this week, lots more Criterion videos coming out for the rest of the month, so stay tuned. It's going to be a fun time, and I am enjoying this month immensely, and I can't wait for the rest of it because I've still got several Criterion titles that I want to pick up. So let's talk, guys. What else do you guys have to talk about in the chat here? Griff, different set. So people are still talking about the Columbo set. I will leave that up to the experts, but it does look like it is a re-release. Several people have kind of chimed in and said that. Ethan Edwards, they also never explain how Rocky is a heavyweight, but Stallone is about 6 inches shorter and 80 pounds lighter than real heavyweights. Well, that's movie magic, man. The guy wrote the movie and starred in the movie. You can't you can't hate on him for being short. He's not even short. I think is he short? I actually don't know how tall he is. He's like 5'10", 5'11". Beetlejuice, same exact discs and everything but smaller packaging. We are still going on about this Columbo set has baffled the entire chat tonight. Let's see if we can get off this Columbo thing. Mackenzie, I'm interested in Yuma Country. There was a very cool 70s pastiche poster I saw that got me super interested. I almost wish it was the Blu-ray cover art. Oh, cool. I'm really glad somebody knew about that film because it wasn't on my radar at all. So very cool that you heard about that one. Roland Columbo, still going on about the Columbo set. Man, this is taking over the whole stream. I'm gonna have to like cut out all of this and make it into a short. Internet user, is this the same Yuma from 310 to Yuma? Possibly, likely, maybe. I actually don't know. Kevin House, I heard Yvonne's perfume stinks. Sorry, I have no idea if it's any good. Okay, I see what you're doing there. And I support it. I support jokes. I will read any joke that comes through, but I will not be responsible for the feedback in the comments. You're on your own. And maybe if I butcher the delivery, then maybe you can blame it on me. But I don't know. I feel like I did a good job with that one. Mackenzie says definitely going to grab that Brokeback 4K. Haven't watched it since I was a teenager. Wild time to watch, but I'd love to see it as an adult. Yeah, I completely missed that one, so I don't know what to expect. I kind of only have heard about that through like osmosis and pop culture and dumb jokes that people have said. So I actually don't know. What is there's an Office joke about it, and I cannot remember at this point. And it's probably not a good thing to repeat it, so I'll just leave it there. Bailey Walsh, I'm interested in getting the Columbo series at least eventually. It seems like one of those cozy mystery detective shows akin to Murder, She Wrote, which is one of my favorite shows. Yeah, something about. I'm not a big procedural guy, but something about those resonates with people. There's always procedurals on, and they go on for like 10 seasons. We just talked about Monk. That's been going on forever, or it's not on anymore, but it went on forever, and people just love it. There's something about, we don't really get episodic television anymore. Everything is all, unless it's like anthology, everything is all interconnected and has all these seasons you have to keep up and everything, which is kind of exhausting. That's why I like movies over TV, just because I can just sit down, get a complete story, and be done with it, and I don't have to keep things in my brain. Things don't stay in my brain anymore. I'm getting old, and I got a lot going on, and I can't remember. That's why I can't watch TV. Every time I try to sit down and watch TV, I give up. I quit. I love Fargo. It's one of the best shows ever. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. But I tried to start the 5th season with Grace the other day, and I just stopped because. I don't know why. It's great. It's wonderful. I can't do TV anymore. I'm just a movie guy now. I have to accept it. No Borders is a name I don't recognize. Welcome to the stream. I'd be very interested in Black God, White Devil. Such an important work in third cinema. The developing world's reaction to Hollywood and European new waves. So much influence on global South film. Wow, you're selling me more and more on it. That might have to be something I pick up this month. Thank you, No Borders, and welcome to the stream. Posty, it is the same Yuma, but 310 to Yuma is much better. then Last Stoop in Yuma County, which is pretty good. Okay, so Posty's seen both of them. Griff says, probably in for SpongeBob and Phantoms at some point, not in a hurry to order them though. Yeah, that's kind of how I am this month. I'm probably going to have to wait on these just because I'm so focused on Criterion this month. But like I said, there are a couple that I'm going to throw on the wish list and hopefully get to eventually. Jeffrey Patron, thank you for sharing this little Wim Wenders comment here. What's so great about Wim Wenders is that there are 2 films by him, Wings of Desire and Far Away, so close, where a decent amount of time is Germans being astounded by the presence of Columbo men. So I've seen Wings of Desire. Wonderful movie. I highly recommend it. I have that in the Criterion collection back there. I have not seen that second one you mentioned, though, so I am going to have to check that one out. I've noticed on Letterboxd that you've been checking out some Wim Wenders lately, Jeffrey, so I always enjoy your little reviews on there. But yeah, I've got to watch more of his stuff. That's why I got one this month, because I loved Wings of Desire, but I haven't seen anything else by him, so let me know if you have any recommendations for Wim Wenders stuff. Josh L. in the chat, if you had to have one sitcom on 4K physical release, which would it be? Mine would have to be Seinfeld. Well, that, for me, it's going to be... It doesn't really make sense, I don't think. But my favorite sitcom is The Office. It always has been. Or not always has been, I guess. I didn't really get into it until college. But I caught up on it like after its time. I think it was like in season 6 when I finally jumped on. And that's kind of the end of it. I think you really only need like seasons 1 through 5. There's some good stuff in season 7 with Holly and Michael. But it doesn't save the whole season for you. My favorite seasons are 1 through 3. If I could just have 1 through 3... but there's no reason to put it on 4K because it wasn't on film. It was shot digitally, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think it would look any better on 4K. I know there's a Friends 4K coming out soon, and I think that was shot on film, so that makes sense. But yeah, the more recent stuff that I love, some of my favorite sitcoms like Always Sunny in Philadelphia probably wouldn't make any sense to make a 4K. I don't think it would really help, especially because they stopped doing Blu-rays for those. They only got DVDs. I'd love to get those on Blu-ray someday. But so many seasons. They're going on like the 16th season of that show, which is absolutely insane. But Seinfeld would be cool. That was before my time. I didn't get into that one, but I have, everyone else, I've caught episodes on TV here and there, and it's a lot of fun. What else here? No Borders. Brokeback is so good, possibly Ang Lee's greatest film, and he's done such good work through his career. Exquisite acting from all. Yeah, I feel like that's one I have to check out at some point. There's just so many films from that period where I wasn't watching great films in that period. 2005, I was like 11, 12. I was watching, what was I watching in 2005? I don't know, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory remake or something like that. So yeah, I was not watching any prestigious Oscar nominees at that point. So there's a lot of catching up to do, but there's decades and decades of catching up to do. So it's not like I can be specific to any specific decade. What else is here? WI Watch Guy. Hey, welcome to the chat. Haven't seen you tonight so far. Hello, I was thrilled to see the Kino has Nobody's Fool on Blu-ray, much less 4K. Must be a newer release from them as it wasn't as cheap in the sale, but will definitely pick up soon. That's another thing. Kino Lorber's having a sale this month as well, because they have to have it at the exact same time as Criterion, which is always trouble for me. Dan's Den. Paris, Texas is a much-watched Wim Wenders. Paris, Texas is probably my next thing that I'll check out from him. Everyone loves Paris, Texas. Although I've been told not to pick up the Blu-ray this sale because there is rumors that a 4K is coming next year from Criterion. That's what the scuttlebutt is. That's what the commentators are telling me. Obviously, if I want to watch it, I'll just go ahead and buy the Blu-ray if I really want to. I don't need to wait for the 4K, but there's just so much stuff I got to watch anyway that it probably won't bother me to just hold off for a few more months until the 4K comes out. But it is it's looking good. It is looking like something I'm going to be picking up very soon. Paris, Texas has this incredible release. There's this incredible release from World Cinema Library that I really want to get, but it is one of those super out of print releases. World Cinema Library does super limited runs of these deluxe premium packaging. It's actually like in a suitcase. It includes both Wings of Desire and Paris, Texas, and they're both in there, and it's like this awesome suitcase inspired. It looks like a leather-bound suitcase is the packaging, but it's like $300, $400 on eBay secondhand. I'm never going to be able to afford that, plus they're Blu-rays, and now we've got 4Ks of both of those. So there's really no reason to go back to it, but every time I see that pop up on eBay, I'm always tempted to get it. Geekvolution, have you seen the 90s remake of 12 Angry Men with Jack Lemmon? I saw it recently, and it's quite good. Not sure different from the originals, but there are some great performances. I have not seen a remake of 12 Angry Men. I love the original. That's definitely a top 100 movie for me. Love that movie. But no, I have not seen the remake. I'll have to look into that. Watch Guy, I know Vim Vendors did U2's video for the song Stay, which is Wings of Desire-esque. Interesting. I'll have to check out that. Did they just see Wings of Desire and say, hey, we want a music video that looks like that? Is that basically what happened? Griff says that Office was great. Was watching Prison Mike earlier tonight. LOL. Prison Mike is a classic, and that's amazing that you're watching it earlier. I haven't watched it through in a while. Last time I watched it through was when Peacock put out their extended cuts. I can't remember what they're calling those, like the super fan cuts or I can't remember what weird name, but basically extended cuts, which I actually really, really like. They are extended about, it seems like they didn't know what they were making when they first started that show, because the episodes were like 40 minutes long. And I actually recommend watching like that. There's some really cool stuff, especially in the first 2 seasons. It kind of wanes off after that, but the first 2 seasons in that extended format are really good. There's a lot more character stuff with Jim. They make Roy a lot more sympathetic, and Jim a little bit more kind of creepy, kind of crossing lines that he shouldn't be. And I think that makes that whole love triangle dynamic fascinating and way more interesting. And I wish they would have kept some of that stuff in. There's some scenes with Roy trying to like fix things, and you can really see that they really did like each other at one point, and they were a good couple, like maybe in high school, and they just kind of drifted apart and got stagnant because of their jobs and the rest of their life. It's not as black and white as it is in the theatrical, which I know some people won't like. They like Roy just being bad guy and Jim being good guy, but I actually like the gray area that created, with including those other scenes that they took out. So I recommend those. If you want to get a subscription to Peacock, I think it's like $5 or something. You can check out the extended cuts. They're very funny, and we had a really good time going through those. And some CBD gummies did not hurt the experience, because it helped it quite a bit. It was very, very fun. So I went through those maybe last year. I think it was whenever Peacock launched them. Highly recommend the first 2 seasons of that. They're great. Tired Boy, you have to make an exception for Twin Peaks if we get the 4K box set from Criterion. Yes, a friend of mine, big, you guys know Connor, big Twin Peaks fan, and he actually showed me the pilot episode when he came and visited me 2 years ago, and that's an experience, especially watching it with him when he's just like grinning ear to ear the whole time because he loves it so much. Maybe I'd get into that at some point. I know I would probably appreciate the later seasons as it gets weirder and weirder. Grace also likes crime dramas, so she always teases, with the idea of watching that show together. We might do that at some point, especially if they, put out a 4K box set, and that kind of gives us a reason to make an event of it. But no, I haven't seen it. I've only seen the pilot. Connor's coming to visit me this weekend, so maybe he'll make me watch another episode of it. I have no idea, but we shall see. Let's see. Internet user Paris, Texas has recently gotten a 4K restoration for its 40th anniversary. Yes, I was just talking about that earlier. So we're kind of assuming that maybe that'll come to the Criterion Collection. Some people are making that assumption, which is probably true, because that's usually what happens. Josh Knoll, if you want to get into Ang Lee, start with The Wedding Banquet. The Wedding Banquet, is that what I feel like the Plaza Theater was playing that recently, and we couldn't make it to it, but I think that's the one they were playing. I think that might have been it. But yeah, the Plaza was playing one of his films earlier, a couple weeks ago, but we had just gone like too many times in a row, and we didn't quite have it in the budget. But I would love to see more films of the Plaza. We're going to see Raiders of the Lost Ark this Friday night, as soon as Connor gets into town. So it's going to be a jam-packed weekend. I'm going to try to shoot some videos for you guys. I don't know how many videos we'll get out, but hopefully we're definitely going to hit some Barnes & Noble stores and shoot some Criterion hunting videos for you. So stay tuned for that. Jeffrey Patron, I think you might dig Until the End of the World when you watch it. Also, The American Friend is a groovy crime picture from Vim Vendors. Fairway So Close is the sequel to Wings of Desire, by the way. Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I have heard that there's a sequel to that movie, and I'm fascinated to check it out because I loved Wings of Desire so much. If you haven't seen Wings of Desire, I'm not going to grab it because it's way over there on the shelf, but it's a very interesting... It's an angel movie. It follows these 2 angels that have kind of become disenfranchised with the whole concept of their role. At least one of them has, and he's kind of thinking about giving up being an angel, partly because he's fallen in love with a human. woman, but also partially because he is just, I feel like, and I have to see it again. I've only seen it once, but I love, there's these scenes where it's hard to explain. It's kind of like a little vignette film. He's just kind of aimlessly walking around Germany. I believe it's Germany, kind of post-war, and he's just hearing the thoughts. It's kind of a cursed role that he has, where he's hearing all these thoughts of these very distraught and depressed and angry people, because it's a very hard time to be living in. And I'll just give one example. One of the people that he's seeing is like contemplating suicide, and he's not able to intervene. All he can do is kind of influence. And it's such a fascinating way to think of angels and divine beings in general, and prayer and all that stuff. I found it very, very fascinating, especially the relationship he develops with this female. And there's a really fun performance by an American actor in it as well, who's just like playing himself basically. It was fascinating. I got to give it another watch because I couldn't. It's so much in there, and you can't get it all in one watch. It definitely requires a rewatch. So I can't wait to check that one out, and eventually check out the sequel that Jeffrey just mentioned. What else do we got going on here in the chat? WI Watch Guy, have you ever seen the original British version of The Office? I've never seen the American version. I have not. I've watched a little bit of it here and there, but I should go back to it. Especially the older I get, the more I like Ricky Gervais. There was a time when he was a hard pill to swallow, but I think as you get older, it makes a lot more sense. His comedy resonates with you a little bit more. So I got to check that one out. Timothy Kandra, curious to know if you own 8.5 or Rafifi. You haven't seen them according to your Letterboxd, but I want to know if you plan on watching them soon. Both are excellent. I do have Rafifi back there. We almost just watched it the other day. Grace had it pulled out. Grace likes to come in my office and just pull things off. What we do is we alternate back and forth who's going to pick the movie for that night. She comes in here and she just pulls a bunch of things off, and then she either has me pick from those or we decide together. She pulled off her Fifi the other night, and Woman of the Year, and Harvey, and she ended up picking Harvey, which is a wonderful movie starring James Stewart, good old Jimmy Stewart, playing one of the most likable characters of all time. Highly recommend Harvey. Bring that to the Criterion Collection. It's great. But we watched Harvey instead, but Rafifi was one that she pulled out. I do have that on the shelf back there. I have not seen it yet. That's one that it came into my collection through other means. I didn't actually seek it out. It came into a collection that I bought out. And then I also have 8.5 back there, I believe. Yeah, I think I do have 8.5 back there. Really looking forward to watching some of that director's stuff. There's a lot of stuff in the collection from him, so hopefully I can get to that soon. John Malahai, first Wim Wenders movie I saw was Buena Vista Social Club, a cool documentary about Cuban musicians. Really good music film if that's your thing. I love having John here on the channel because he always brings up documentaries, which is a huge blind spot for me, and I'm very out of my depth when we're talking about documentaries. So thank you, John, for all you bring. Watch Guy, wow, never knew Wim Wenders did Buena Vista Social Club, much less than it was his first film. I haven't seen it, but I know it was well received. I don't know if it was his first film or if John was just saying that was the first one he saw, but maybe it was. Mackenzie, back again. They're remaking The Wedding Banquet with Lily Gladstone, and I'm super excited for it. Oh, that's cool. That's interesting. Ethan, will Connor be on the live stream next Monday? I gotta say yes. He'll be here until Tuesday morning. So yeah, of course, I'm going to get him on there. If he's here, no reason not to. Just slide him a chair up and we'll just talk. Slipmaker, Kino Lorber always sounds like the secret identity of a superhero with some sort of film motif. Wow, interesting. I've never thought of that, but yeah, I could see that. Kino Lorber's a weird name. I'm assuming it's just like two guys' last names smushed together. I don't actually know what it means, but it is a weird name to say. Let's see. Dan Stan Harvey was on the screen in If, a movie I just watched last week. Oh, interesting. I wonder if there's any specific reason that John Krasinski put that on screen. Probably. I feel like that's always super intentional. If you're going to put a movie on screen, it has to be there for some reason. It makes sense. If you know what Harvey's about, I don't know if I want to spoil it for you, but yeah, it being an If makes perfect sense. Slipmaker, Ricky Gervais is such a weird case study. His early stuff, XMM, The Office, and Extras were all critiques of people obsessed with fame. Then he basically became a character he criticized. Oh, interesting. A little analysis on Ricky Gervais' career there. All right, we're getting to the end here, wrapping it up soon. Put any last questions or comments you have here, and we're right around 1:15, which is where I'd like to wrap it off, cap it off here. at 1:15 and get back to some editing because I got to get some videos out for you guys tomorrow. But anything else you have that's urgent, go ahead and throw it in and we'll wrap it up here. Internet user says, I think Kino is German for cinema. Oh, interesting. Pretty sure Kino is German for cinema or theater. Speaking of documentaries, check out Apollo 11 since it's the 55th anniversary of the moon landing. We've got a movie in theaters that is about the moon landing, or is it? But it is bombing, I've heard. I think it's doing very badly. I don't know if I'm going to go see it. I didn't really have any interest. But let me know if you guys know anything about that ScarJo Channing Tatum rom-com that's in theaters right now. Hey, Laney Lane. Hello, recently found your channel. Love your positivity. UK Office, greater than American, in my opinion. I'll have to check it out because, like I said, the first 2 seasons of The Office are my favorite, and that's where it's closest to the UK version. I don't like it as it gets a little bit more goofy and silly as it goes on. I like the more realistic stuff in the beginning. I mean, semi-realistic stuff. So I'll have to check out the UK Office. I'm sure I'll like it at some point. Kevin House says, Salesman is a great 1969 documentary on Criterion. Oh, the way he said that, I thought you meant it was a documentary on Criterion, which I would eat with a spoon, but no, it is just on Criterion. It's in the Criterion collection is what I think he means. Tori Blonde, I recommend Gilda. It's a really good noir. Gilda is back there on the shelf. That's one that Grace picked up in a recent, was it a couple? Maybe it was a while ago now, but one of the sales, she picked that one up, and she's been wanting to watch that one for a while, but there's a lot of stuff to watch, and we haven't got to that one yet, but I will let her know that we have another endorsement for Gilda. Tired Boy. It's an incredible travelogue documentary and only $15 during the Barnes & Noble sale. Highly recommend. Not sure what he was talking about, but he's talking to John, so maybe that was a personal message. I probably shouldn't have read that. Brown Bunny. Kino means cinema auf Dutch. Wow, interesting. Cinema of Dutch? Weird. I guess it's not what I thought it was at all. Dan's Den Fly Me to the Moon is what it was called. Thank you. Is playing at my theater. I might go see it. It's all free for me. Why is it free for you? I don't know this about you. Do you work at a theater or something? I didn't know this. Maybe that's why you see every movie in the world. Posty, I had no idea there was a moon landing movie in theaters right now, which probably explains why it's bombing. Yeah, I don't think there was very much advertising. We just saw a trailer like once when we went to see something earlier in the year. Was it Dune? Or maybe Fall Guy? Maybe it was when we went to see Fall Guy. But yeah, I don't think it's doing well, but hopefully it's good. Watch Guy, your YouTube keeps forwarding ads for the new Alien movie Romulus, but it looks pretty poor. Interesting. I did not know. This is how much of a baby YouTuber I am. I didn't even know that my streams had ads while I was live. That's kind of annoying. Sorry, guys. I didn't even know that YouTube did that. So yeah, I think that's it. I think we've done it. We have had a good evening. We've talked about Criterion upcoming releases, Criterion announcements, and a little bit of new releases. I like these shorter weeks because they allow me to talk to you guys a little bit more. When there's so many releases coming out, I got to just fly through them, and I don't get to read as many comments in the chat, which is not as fun. But we've got a ton of stuff to get through next week. I'm just looking at over here on the side. So that'll be fun. Like I said, I might have a guest on next week, like Ethan brought up. But we will see. We will see how that stream goes. There's some really cool 4K stuff coming out next week. Like I said, got a couple videos in the queue that I'm editing right now. I'll get those up for you as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and for all your great input in the live chat. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, I always keep the replay up for those. And I always let me know if you do that because I enjoy getting the comments on those as well. A lot of you guys can't tune in at night and you watch it like on the way to work in the morning and you give me some feedback there as well. So enjoy those as well. Let's see how many times I can say as well in this outro. I'm a little out of sorts this evening. I had to kind of rush right up to the stream and I was trying to get some videos edited. My computer ran out of space. I had to delete a bunch of stuff. It was kind of a mess, but I think the stream went pretty well. I enjoyed talking to you guys, and I will see you again for one of these streams next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set your calendars, and I'll be back with another one real soon.